Hello everyone, hope everybody is doing good and safe. In this video we are going to learn about the British literature. In the previous video we have covered till the 100 Years' War. In this video we are going to learn the Lancastrian and Yorkist Kings, the period between 1399 to 1485. The Lancastrian Kings were the descendants of John of Gaunt, who was the Duke of Lancaster and also the third son of Edward III. This dynasty had three kings. They are Henry IV from 1399 to 1413, Henry V from 1413 to 1422, and Henry VI from 1422 to 1461. The Yorkists were the descendants of the Duke of York, and he is another son of Edward III. This dynasty also had three kings. They are Edward IV, 1461 to 1833. He ruled for 22 years, but he had a break of 2 years from 1470 to 1471. In the year 1483, Edward V was able to rule for 1 year. The third king of this family was Richard III, who ruled from 1483 to 1485. The next part of the video is about the Wars of the Roses. The period of Wars of the Roses is 1455 to 1485. There were wars going between the Yorkists and Lancasters, and the supporters of these two families were claiming the English throne. The naming of these two groups was derived from the badges. The white rose was worn by Yorkists and the red rose was worn by Lancastrians. The war between them was a kind of a civil war. A civil war in the sense that it was fought between two groups of people of England. But unlike the civil war in the times of Charles I, only the nobles and their dependents were engaged in this war. Moreover, the war did not affect the normal life of the entire nation. Though the wars continued for 30 years, it was not a period of continued fighting. It was rather a period of short wars divided by longer periods of peace and normal life. There were several causes for the Wars of the Roses. The prolonged 100 Years' War was over with France, but it had engendered greed with the English nobles. It is because that they could no longer win booty, and that is the reason they began to fight with each other. And also there were many military men left unpaid by the bankrupt Lancastrian government. These soldiers were ready to fight for any noble who was willing to employ them. But a more important case was the incompetence on the part of the Lancastrian king, Henry VI. Henry VI could no longer provide a strong government. As a result of his weak rule, there was general lawlessness in the country. The Wars of the Roses started with the Battle of St. Albans, 1455, with Richard, Duke of York, who defeated Henry VI. In 1461, York's son won the Battle of Towtown and proclaimed himself King Edward IV. But Henry VI managed to become king again with the help of Earl of Warwick, the wealthiest of the English nobles. In 1471, Edward defeated and killed Warwick in the Battle of Barnet. Henry VI was imprisoned and later put to death. Thus, Henry IV was able to rule in peace for another 12 years up to 1483, and he also died in the same year. His little son Edward V could not rule long because the boy king's uncle Richard, he is the Duke of Gloucester, he made himself the king. The little boy and his brother were believed to have been murdered by this wicked uncle Richard. Unfortunately, Richard III found it extremely difficult to keep himself on the throne as he was opposed by both the Yorkists and Lancastrians. After this, the Lancastrian heir came to the throne, and he is a Walesman, Henry Tudor. In 1485, he defeated and killed Richard III, and thus he becomes the King of England. The third part of this video is the Tudor period. It is from 1485 to 1603. Henry Tudor, he is a Welshman who is the descendant from the Lancastrian family, and he is getting married to Elizabeth, who is a descendant of the Yorkist family. Thus, the Tudor dynasty was a result of the union between two rival families which claimed the English throne. This Henry Tudor, when he became King of England, he was assumed and given the title as Henry VII. The period of Henry VII is generally considered as the dividing line between medieval and modern times in British history. Henry VII ruled England between 1485 to 1509. He stabilized the finances of the country and made himself more powerful by establishing marriage between Spain and Scotland. His eldest son, Arthur, married Catherine of Aragon, daughter of King Ferdinand, the most powerful European monarch of the time. Another beneficial marriage of England is his eldest daughter Margaret to James IV of Scotland. During the reign of Henry VII, two Italians, John Cabot and his son, discovered Newfoundland and Labrador. Of course, the usefulness of this discovery of England was fully realized only towards the end of the 16th century. I hope you must be finding this video helpful. In the next video, we are going to see about Henry VIII, who is the important king of English throne. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.